What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it. All right. Congrats, Rachel.
Sensational, explosive, and downright astonishing. Those are the initial phrases racing through everyone's thoughts. Ever since the gossip streaked across social media, Rachel Zegler allegedly got nabbed escaping the nation, with sources murmuring that Disney requested a massive repayment for what they're labeling the Snow White disaster. Folks everywhere are in an uproar.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no Prince, or a different kind of Prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because like we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows?
Pondering how one of Hollywood's brightest fresh talents landed herself embroiled in such a blazing tempest, did the big house of mouse truly lash out and fume? Or is it one giant muddled misconception? Well, we're here and we're diving in. Fast, we're taking a bold position on this rumor right from the start. It's untamed, it's gripping this.
Woman shown here is not the actual woman playing Snow White, but the woman playing Snow White is named Rachel Zegler. And she and Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, were caught on the red carpet. This is actually from September of 2022, but it's resurfaced now because the movie's coming out, talking about what we should expect from Snow White.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Oh my God.
Nobody
Who wants a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? The outrage.
And it has the web erupting in ways we haven't witnessed since the last Star breakdown. Yes, it's all supposedly occurring, and we're delivering it to you direct. Rachel Zegler is under the spotlight for allegedly wrecking the timeless narrative and dashing away from the unavoidable consequences. Gear up. Because once we're in, there's no pulling back. Everyone's heard the same query time and time again.
Alex, what has been the reaction to Disney's latest expensive own goal?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done. And
I mean, they're projected to lose between $200 and $400 million on this.
The thing that really shocks me about this story, Disney and all these media companies, they invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these projects, right? Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
How on earth did Snow White turn into such a divisive chaos? A cherished gem morphed into a debacle. Isn't something you foresee from Disney, but talk on the ground is that the project has been haunted by constant script tweaks, rumored internal clashes, and maybe the greatest stunner Disney's frustration with the whole path of the film.
Time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, "Every hour I am in the outfit of Snow White wearing the dress. All 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one." Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for Cry Me a River? She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Assert that Rachel Zegler's candid comments about the classic plot irked execs the wrong way, making them see fury. She's no novice to sharing her views on artistic liberty, female strength, and updating fairy tales for a modern era, and that firm stand can stir quite a few ripples.
There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now, and how they had her tweet out like a little, "Yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her." And she did it and got millions of views, and they were like, "Good job, Rachel." And then she, minutes later, followed it up with, "And never forget, free Palestine."
In a field that's as image-obsessed as it gets, Disney evidently sought a reimagining that hits big at the ticket counter. Instead, they wound up with a storm of debate that's splitting their audience. Fans have swamped social media with fiery remarks. Some argue the new Snow.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim. And that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. But the reality is she's just not stable.
And, you know the saying, go woke, get broke. And Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
White is precisely what the Globe demands, a forward-thinking twist on an old tale. Others believe it's a complete abandonment of the 1937 classic, insisting that core pieces that made the story so captivating have been cast aside per the rumor. Mill Disney brass blames Zegler's public words for stoking this ugly feud, peaking in an alleged outburst behind closed doors. The brand famously pours billions into its live-action remakes, so the mere idea of their big next debut turning into a total bust is not something they're willing to swallow silently. And if you think that's the finish, brace yourself. This mess has richer depths, just begging to surface. Stay tuned, because next up we'll leap straight into how the rumor of fleeing the country ties into all this madness. And let's just say it's got fans in utter shock. If the Snow White chaos weren't wild enough, the internet reeled at the next jaw-dropping turn. Rachel Zegler was supposedly caught hurrying off. To another land, perhaps, to dodge the flash of paparazzi or the fury of Disney's monstrous legal squad. The rumor surged up overnight, with tabloids alleging she boarded a plane before anyone could pin her for answers. Alleged glimpses, cryptic. Social media hints and quiet tips from insiders hinted that she abandoned her usual spots in LA to lie low somewhere, distant. Maybe a quaint European refuge or a sunny island. Getaway detractors are slamming her for bolting away, suggesting she's evading responsibility for the Snow White fiasco. Some tag her a disruptor who poured fuel on the controversy, only to disappear once the fire blazed too fierce. They say that if Disney truly sought a refund, an enormous sum that's being floated. Around behind closed doors, Zegler might be escaping her possible monetary ruin. Meanwhile, staunch backers proclaim that she's no quitter. They contend she's simply drained by the relentless criticism swirling around her. And who wouldn't? Crave to flee the harsh headlines for a spell, regardless of the facts. This alleged departure has only boosted the rumor's relentless drive. Everyone wants a slice of the tale, dissecting every vague tweet, every paparazzi snap, and every bit of insider scoop for potential evidence that she's holed up abroad. But that's not all. While fans argue her location, Disney's rumored demands keep escalating, and the next curve in this saga might be the grandest revelation yet. This is where jaws truly drop. A rumored clash between a top Hollywood name and a Titan studio is dramatic enough, but now we're talking cold hard dough. Rumor has it, Disney execs were so enraged by the backlash swirling around the Snow White production that they want some kind of compensation, some quiet cash, or a contract fine for the harm done. Allegedly, they pinned a big share of the fault on Zegler's fearless public remarks, claiming those words whipped the pot and set social media alight in the worst imaginable way. If the movie doesn't meet their sky-high hopes, they're hunting for someone to cover the cost. Insiders allege that Disney's legal crew is locked in fierce talks, analyzing every line. In the actress's deal for a way to cut payments or reclaim losses, it's a thrilling tale that's sparking even more buzz. Can a studio really do that? Are they so eager to shield their profits that they'd target their own leading star as the fall guy? The rumor alone has ignited heated debate, with some declaring Disney is overreaching, while others say the firm has the right to protect its multi-billion-dollar name more stunning. Yet if Rachel Zegler truly is overseas, that might hinder or stall any showdown. Disney might be knocking on her door seeking answers and finding nothing but a vacant home. Of course, all this is chatter swirling in the gossip realm, and official word remains scarce. One thing is clear, though public. Opinion could turn into a disaster if fans decide the beloved wide-eyed actress is being harassed. Still, the House of Mouse rarely endures any brand-damaging fiasco. This might be their method of reclaiming command. But as far as shock value goes, we're only getting rolling long before the rumored refund threats or the alleged airport dash. Rachel Zegler caused a stir with her bold take on reworking classic fairy tales. She slammed certain outdated story beats from the original Snow White, claiming they didn't connect with today's viewers. While some folks hailed her stance, applauding her for pushing progressive narratives, loyal fans reacted with fury. They demanded that the heritage of Snow White must stay untouchable, calling Zegler's remarks a slight to Walt Disney's original treasure. They also zeroed in on her social media exchanges, which often felt sharp or brisk. The actress's swift, no-filter retorts to critics won her both praise and scorn. This online sparring laid the groundwork for what we're seeing now, a surge of friction that pitted the young star and her allies against Disney purists, who dread any woke twist on timeless tales. Did that clash ultimately pushed Disney to fret about the film's reception? Quite possibly. After all, we can't ignore that the entertainment giant sinks untold millions into promotion alone, expecting these classic rehashes to rake in cash if the lead star stirs even more uproar by openly tackling unromantic princes, irrelevant dwarves, or antiquated plot lines. It might trigger doubts among the execs banking on mass appeal ticket sales. In many ways, this strain was destined to erupt, but did anyone foresee the meltdown becoming so intense that they'd essentially ditch their leading lady, or she'd abandon them altogether? That's the million-dollar puzzle driving the whole spectacle, and the rumor mill hints there's still more to unearth. Hold on, because the next point might eclipse everything else out of the water. No Hollywood scandal is whole without a host of famous faces leaping into the fray, or at least getting pulled along. Word is that a few prominent celebrities either picked sides or were tangled in cameo-level roles, though unconfirmed whispers say that certain big-name actors, possibly even some in the Disney circle, have privately griped about Zegler's comments. They allegedly view her as a risk who's eclipsing the film's true value with her endless dramas. Speculation even posits that top-tier names like co-star Gal Gadot might have voiced dismay over how the PR mess is bearing everything else they worked on the flip side. Rumor has it that some younger talents are quietly rooting for Zegler, lauding her guts. They see her as the next-gen trailblazer, unafraid to defy the industry's stale norms and demand that women get richer scripts. This quiet celebrity backing might be stoking Disney's ire, making them think that Zegler is sparking an entire shift within the entertainment world that strays from the sweet, nostalgic vibe they want for a classic fairy tale reboot. Everyday fans scour the web for tweets, cryptic likes, or odd unfollows. One misstep, one shady post from a big name, and the story explodes anew. It's the ultimate digital drama. Did this star just diss Zegler? Did that star just support her with a vague coded note? The rumor watchers can't get enough. And it all heightens the stakes if you think the tension is at its max. Guess again, we haven't even broached the rumored meltdown behind closed doors that might have ignited the entire fiasco. Trust me, that's still to come before any talk of refunds, fleeing, or celebrity alliances. Rumor has it that the real trigger began at a private viewing or some secret summit between the film's key figures. Allegedly, Disney brass were underwhelmed by a preview of the movie. They felt the fresh take was too daring, too current, and possibly too bold for the brand's usual family-friendly tone. That letdown reportedly clashed with Rachel Zegler's firm conviction that the classic needed an urgent, drastic overhaul, per several insider tales. Voices were elevated, tension soared, and at some point an exec demanded revisions so sweeping that it jeopardized the film's release timeline. Some chatter even claims chairs were banged, not physically hurled but definitely struck to make a point. Stress was at an all-time peak. Zegler is rumored to have shot back,